These Newton balls represent the natural sway of the Earth. We have periods of warming and cooling. This all occurs naturally through the sun's radiation and volcanic eruptions of SO2 at a rate that animals and plants can adapt. But we as humans are artificially impacting the natural sway so that the Earth cannot adapt fast enough.
Don't believe us?
In history, temperature of the Earth rises before CO2 level rise. However, we can see in the Holocene, the age of man, we have impacted CO2 levels so that they rise before temperature levels. We do this through burning fossil fuels in our daily lives, driving cars, obtaining energy for our houses, and cutting down natural carbon sinks. The biggest effect of this change in Hampton Roads is sea level rise.
Melting of glaciers won't actually affect sea level rise as much as you think. The biggest impact to our glaciers melting is the sinking of our area. Crazy, right? As glaciers melt in New England areas, this displaces weight that was formerly pushing down the Earth, creating a seesaw effect where the North will rise and we start to sink. There's also thermal expansion of our oceans, which is the result of continued emissions of greenhouse gases into our atmosphere. As our climate increases, so does the temperature of our oceans. As the water molecules are heated and increase in energy, the increase in energy causes an expansion of distance between each molecules and an increase in total volume. While the distance between the single object may be minuscule, the size of the depth of the ocean, which has a more drastic effect. Increased temperature over land, the equalization of the poles and the equator temperatures, and the increased humidity will cause an irregular, stronger storm patterns. In the 90s, 600,000 deaths occurred directly due to weather. With X, storms are a problem in Hampton Roads as our highway systems can be very congested. Half of Hampton Roads are supposed to evacuate on the I-64 in case of emergency. There are special gates that help people from Williamsburg get on the ramps easier, but these ramps close once wind speeds reach 45 miles per hour. In September 2016, a Category 1 storm prevented people from evacuating on Highway 264 and Hampton Roads for several hours. In the end, over $60 million in damage was done. The Chesapeake Bay has increased about 1.1 degrees Celsius in the past 60 years. Hampton Roads has an ecosystem that is particularly affected by this due to the unique region between southern and northern regions. These are all sensitive to even a small change in climate in the region. This change is happening so quickly that species have no time to adapt. For example, the blue mussel, that is a prominent part of the ecosystem as a food source and a water cleaner, cannot survive in this area as air and water temperatures increase. So, less ecosystem diversity hurting the food web equates to less food diversity, less fisheries available, and less tourism because animals and plants can't perform in clean water. Hampton Roads brings in $4.3 billion in tourism yearly with the beach and historic sites. With the world's largest naval base, there are over 150,000 military residents in Hampton Roads. Each bit of land, which carries a variety of population density, plays a role in a major part of our military and economy of the East Coast. Hampton Roads has a unique ecosystem with delicate marshes and bays and wildlife refuges of Sandbridge. Hampton Roads is a thriving area that many people call home. Lots of people have memories here, and no one wants to leave it behind. Sea levels rise, people's homes will be at risk for partial submersion. A practice that has been successful in the Netherlands, especially Maasbommel, is an amphibious infrastructure development. This relates to the redesign of existing structure and ones to come. Amphibious infrastructure development mitigates flooding by allowing the structure to move vertically above the water as the level rises, while staying at the same horizontal location. The design consists of a concrete base with a wooden skeleton. This keeps the building buoyant as possible. Amphibious housing development would be effective in areas like Sandbridge and the oceanfront neighborhoods, areas that are going to see the most immediate effect. This option is highly effective, but it is quite high in cost. In areas that it has been implemented, they've seen up to a 44% increase in housing costs. The costs and benefits need to be weighed, though. This method saves houses from possible damage that would have to be repaired, rising insurance costs, and even saves the community from losing a section of its housing from flooding and sea level rise. Evacuation was a big problem in Hurricane Katrina, which played a huge part in hurting New Orleans society. Urban multimodal emergency evacuation routines is an answer for Hampton Roads. At the 84th annual meeting of the Transportation Research Board, there was a huge emphasis on having both dynamic traffic assignment and most desirable destinations. Knowing the demand of the amount of people that will need to be evacuated paired with the bottlenecks in the road can be found through GIS mapping. You also need to know where everyone will end destination-wise. Some people will travel to visit family
members, some will stay in hotels, and others will rely on public shelters. There will be a 58% reduction in evacuation time with these key procedures. Also, in their 88th annual meeting, public transportation with assigning buses to certain pickup routes based on shortest time criteria and overall number of available public transportation was a key factor explained. Here in Hampton Roads, we already have started access for a form of public transportation other than buses that can be used to fulfill this multimodal transportation. We have the Norfolk Tide that runs through Norfolk and Virginia Beach Town Center. We can increase the Tide route to go out of Norfolk inland and increase the amount of stops. While this may be costly, we already have more infrastructure than most places will that need to implement multimodal transportation. It will outweigh the potential cost of lives. Only would having public busing plans planned out and routes and destinations planned be beneficial for the area, but increasing the amount of ways for easier transportation using the existing Tide would help with organization and efficiency. How do we stop our vital coast from being affected? Many say a seawall is the answer, but they are wrong. A seawall just to protect key parts of Norfolk would cost $1 billion. As Virginia Beach tourism relies on the wide beaches, these hardened structures ironically can cause more erosion of the beach, so this combined with a seawall will cause the beach to deplete. We need a better solution to protect the rivers connected to the Chesapeake Bay watersheds, especially North Landing and Back Bay area. The correct answer for this is living shorelines. This is the combination of natural soft living vegetation and elements like wetland plants, grasses, shrubs, and trees, which can be paired with harder elements like rocks and oyster reefs. Filling coasts with these living shorelines not only prevents erosion of land due to the sea level rise and flooding through stabilization, but it cleans the water through filtration and creates a clean habitat for the plants and animals of the area. These natural shorelines were seen to actually outperform man-made bulkheads during the 2011 Hurricane Irene. Soft structures cost about $50 to $100, and hard structures cost about $150 to $500. But there are organizations like NOAA that will take care of the cost, and the benefit from the shorelines and possible damage costs outweigh the upfront cost. One offshoot of this is a fairly new idea of 3D farming. Think of a huge underwater garden, including seaweed, mussels, and clam and oyster cages that actually help restore our oceans instead of depleting them. These foundational species will help the ecosystem flourish, while the kelp will reduce the impact of currents due to the storms on the coast. Without the need for fresh water or pesticides, it is very sustainable, providing for the seafood the area is known for. Both of these have affordable costs with huge benefits. The most important thing to get out of this is that we want our community. We want our world to last for generations. One of the ways we can help influence the rest of the world is to pave the way for our communities. For example, in Hamburg, Germany, they are putting wind turbines on skyscrapers, which can help provide as much as 10% needed for cities with clean energy. Albuquerque, New Mexico has implemented solar-powered farmers markets and parking garages, and many more communities are investing in becoming green so that we can stop what we started in the first place. We need to pave the way. We need to lead by example to make a future worth living. Through our mitigative and adaptive solutions, we can make it so we are not impeding as much on this natural sway of the Earth's climate. However, since these effects are inevitable, since we are already feeling the effects, and we've already done the damage, we will be prepared for what comes our way.